It's a growing fear for so many people getting carjacked.
Carjackings in the city of New Orleans over the last few days are eye-opening to just how brazen these criminals can be. Well, crime across New Orleans continues to get worse. Now multiple agencies are working together to solve a string of carjackings.
A series of very scary car thefts and attempted car thefts is troubling residents in Mid-City.
Hey guys, so I want to warn you, the video you're about to see, it is disturbing. The victim's family says, though, they want you to see this video to understand what happened.
Welcome to New Orleans, where the real ones don't call it Louisiana. They just call it the city or the NO. This ain't no tourist postcard or Mardi Gras highlight reel. How chill little boys don't grow up to be killers. They get raised by the streets, baptized in gun smoke, schooled in wards, bullets, and beef. A block teach them more than their classroom ever could, you heard me? Now let's rewind the city clock back to 2022. The carjacking in New Orleans wasn't just a hustle, it was a whole epidemic. Shorties and young dudes in their early 20s started treating whips like GTA missions, running down on folks broad daylight, straight reckless. Not even the Seuss was safe. District Attorney Jason Williams got his whip snatched uptown while helping his mama. Yeah, the man who trying to prosecute these kids got jacked with his mama standing right there. Welcome to New Orleans, baby.
Today, NOPD says that they are working to make arrests in this case. Meanwhile, DA Jason Williams says he can still see the two guns last night in his mind. He had a message for the two men responsible for the crime.
I know that there's a lot of trauma and there's a lot of poverty in the city of New Orleans. But bad things happening to you or going through difficult things, it's not an excuse for you to do bad things.
The DA's words to the two men behind the carjacking in his own neighborhood Monday night.
And it ain't stopped there. Just 2 days after that, deli owner Dan Stein almost got caught slipping. He was one of 8 carjacking attempts in the Lower Garden District. That's not a typo, 8 in 2 days.
First and 6, a carjacking along Magazine Street, all caught on surveillance.
Well, the victim is a beloved deli owner, and the crime happened right in front of his shop. WDSC reporter Elizabeth Kubel spoke to Stein's Market and deli's owner about his terrifying night. Elizabeth.
Yeah, and Dan Stein now has some pretty deep cuts and stitches after such a frightening attack, and all of it was captured on camera.
The city was starting to feel like a chop shop with beads hanging from the rearview mirror. But the real gut punch came in March 2022. 4 teens caught and convicted after they dragged a 71-year-old woman, Linda Frickey, to her death while carjacking her whip. They snatched her life right out the driver's seat. This was the one that made even the hardest dudes say, damn.
It's disgusting. You have a 73-year-old woman just at her job, putting things in the car. They drug her. No forethought. Dismembered her. Well, why? And she was just a good person.
Family members react to the news of one of the latest murders to happen here in the city. 73-year-old Linda Frickey dying after being carjacked in the 300 block of North Scott in Mid-City. NOPD officials say 4 suspects took her vehicle, speeding off while she was still in a seatbelt. Take a look. Police released video of the suspects late Monday night.
She'd help anybody off the street.
City stats was looking uglier than the neutral ground after Hurricane Katrina. From January to May 5th, 2022, 859 carjackings. That's just the ones that got reported. And when you zoom in by zip code, it told a whole wall map of New Orleans. Zip 70117, that's St. Claude. And the 9 led the pack with 23 carjackings. Mid-City and Bayou St. John in 70119 had 18, until it was Endowment in the 70126 held down 17. Same number in Tremay and around the quarter in 70116. Then you had 70127. The East and Little Woods with 13. And nah, these wasn't no out-of-towners or old heads. These was kids barely out their teens, fresh fades, still posting TikToks, but riding stolen Benzes and Challengers like it's a badge of honor. These youngins was treating Glocks switches like toys and hitting licks like a part-time job. Fast forward to 2023, and that same Linda Frickey case caught up with him. 3 out of 4 teens took a guilty plea trying to dodge life. It was charged as adults facing second-degree murder. Life behind them gates was staring them in the face like a cold mirror.
Honore was convicted of second-degree murder. WDSU reporter Aubrey Killian has been in court all day. Aubrey, what did the Frickey family have to say about the sentence?
Hey there, Gina. So a major update in this case. I've stayed in close contact with Linda Frickey's family for nearly 2 years, and today they say they finally have justice and closure. So take a look. Like you mentioned, John Honore, he is going to spend life in prison and could be eligible for parole. That is after 25 years. A very emotional day right here at criminal court. This wrapped up about 30 or 40 minutes ago. We've been here since 8:30 in the morning. Again, John Honore, he did not apologize to the family at all. In fact, he said nothing to them in court. Frickey's family did speak up. They looked directly at him in the courtroom while on the stand. One family member saying, "What you did was horrible. It was demonic. You are known as a grandmother killer." Linda Frickey was carjacked and dragged to her death in March of 2022 in Mid-City. The 3 teen girls linked to that death struck a plea deal for attempted manslaughter and were given 20-year sentences. All 4 were charged as adults. Judge Kimya Holmes decided that John Honore, again, will get life in prison with a chance for parole. That's after 25 years.
But the streets ain't slowed down one bit. Same year, October 2023, guess who got jacked? Yep, District Attorney Jason Williams. Dude was helping his mama in the 1000 block of Race Street when 2 dudes ran up and took the whip. A couple of blocks down, they hit another carjacking. These dudes was on a back-to-back mission like it was March Madness. Eventually, they got caught. Santana Gilmore, John Curtis, and Amaha Curtis flipped their pleas to guilty on armed robbery. Judge told them they facing 16 years, no probation, no parole, no pass go, straight to jail. Do not collect $200.
Thief sped off with his mom's purse, wallet, and phone also inside. Within 30 minutes, police report the same men appear to have carjacked a woman here at the intersection of Barone and Felicity. Williams says he wants to assure the people of New Orleans that there won't be any more attention put on this case than any other violent crime.
Just when you boys thought that was it, nah. 2024 said hold my daiquiri. Just come October, things got wild again. Monday night, October 28, dude named Joe Lee Miller tried to jack somebody near O'Keefe. The victim got away and called 12. Joel ain't want to sit still. He took off, tossed a strap somewhere near Girard Street, and ran straight into the Rouses on Barone like it was his mama house. Police cleared the whole store. Customers got evacuated like it was a fire drill. Then boom, Joel got caught in aisle 5 right by the frozen gumbo. No shots fired, no injuries, but that boy's jacket thick. This was his 6th arrest in New Orleans since 2004. Prior hits, aggravated battery, crack distribution, heroin moves. Yeah, that boy was certified. Then came December 11, 2024. First District went down on 2 young bucks, 18-year-old Dylan McClendon and 19-year-old Vondell Johnson. Them boys was off a hot spree, armed carjacking on St. Anne Street, robbery on O'Reilly Street back in November, an armed jack on LaPage, and another armed one on St. Philip and Dupree in early December. They were stacking charges like it was Pokemon cards.
2 men have been arrested for a series of armed carjackings in New Orleans over the past few weeks. The NOPD says they arrested 18-year-old Dylan McClendon and 19-year-old Vondell Johnson on Wednesday. Police say the armed carjackings took place on St. Anne Street in November and at the corner of St. Philip and North Dupree earlier this month. Now, they're also charged with an unarmed carjacking on LaPage Street and an armed robbery on O'Reilly. Police also recovered several weapons, phones, and clothing they believe were used in these crimes.
By the time 2025 touched down, the carjacking game in the city done mutated to a whole different beast. These little wild boys turned New Orleans into a real-life action flick. Ain't no more joyrides. This was big-time danger, with heat getting drawn and folks getting traumatized just trying to put groceries in the trunk. Early 2025, Warren Rowland stepped up to take the crown, but that was attempt of the year. Louisiana. Dude tried to jack a Toyota SUV like he was Vin Diesel on a meth binge. Pulled a burner, ran up, tried the door handle while the driver hit reverse. Warren let off a whole shot. Just a scam. That stunt got him 137 months, over a decade in Fed time for attempted carjacking and gun charges. That boy went from the streets to the feds faster than you can say bad decision. But the Endo carjacking saga wasn't done. Derek Hines said, "Hey, yo, Warren, watch this." In June 2025, Hines pled guilty to carjacking and packing heat illegally. Details hush hush, but the court ain't playing. That guilty plea stamped his ticket to sit down for a nice little stretch behind them walls. Now slide back just a little, cause a real life high speed movie popped off right before that in the French Quarter. It's the weekend. Folks trying to vibe on Raw and Toulouse Street. Two 23-year-old women stepping into an SUV. Boom, a man jump in, strong arm style, and peels off. That man, Randy Darby, acting like he's still 21 with nothing to lose. Randy ain't just steal a whip, he took the whole weekend on their tour de chaos. That same Nissan Rogue ended up in Slidell later that day. St. Tammany and Parish Sheriff's Office spotted it and tried to box it in. Randy hit a cop unit and dipped right back into Orleans Parish like it was Grand Theft Auto, Louisiana edition. But Sunday, he got too cocky. Troopers saw him again at a gas station in Slidell. As soon as they moved in, Randy punched it, led him on another chase like he had a Fast and Furious script in his back pocket. This time the chase ended with Randy smashing into a trooper car, all banged up like it fought a Katrina pothole. They boxed him in. Slidell PD jumped in too. Boom, that boy was in cuffs. And when they ran the file on him, the charges were stacked higher than the fully dressed shrimp po' boy. Resisted an officer, fugitive status, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, no license, and smuggling contraband in and out of lockup. That boy had a rap sheet that needed his own zip code. And the crazy part, ain't nobody get hurt. Not the woman he jacked, not the officers who gave chase, not even Randy himself. That's what made folks really shake their head. These dudes out here risking their life and everybody else just to ride somebody else's whip. Sergeant Kate Stiegel from the Louisiana State Police spoke on it too. She kept it a buck, said these runaway carjackings making the streets deadly and unpredictable. But she also dropped a little PSA. If y'all would just comply, we wouldn't be risking lives out here, she said. Yeah, but you trying to tell that to somebody with a ski mask, a pistol, and a chip on their shoulder. People used to be one-off crimes by grown hustlers turned into young boy free-for-all. These kids got no guidance, no fear, no patience. They ain't boosting radios or breaking windows no more. They straight sticking iron in your face and telling you to get out the car or die. And once the city got flooded with carjackings, everybody from old folks in mid-city to waitresses in the quarter started moving like prey. It's a different New Orleans now. One where danger ain't creeping, it's running down your block. Hoodie on, Glock out, and no plan for what to do once they get the whip. It ain't about selling it or stripping it down for parts. Sometimes it's just for the thrill, just for the flex on social media, just to post a blurry video of a stolen Charger on Instagram with Op Pack written in the caption.